What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about LCX token today. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. LCX consolidating nice and firm in this little range here that it's been in since December 2nd. We have been waiting and waiting and waiting so patiently for this move that will come to take us to new all-time highs, and I think it's just right around the corner. However, it wouldn't surprise me if we went a little bit lower first, okay, and that's fine. It's very possible, it's completely possible that this could be the low. But my reasoning why I don't think it's low is I am expecting Bitcoin to drop about 14% from its current price over the coming week or two. And if Bitcoin drops 14%, I have a hard time seeing LCX drop less, right? It could happen, but likely it drops more, so probably a little bit lower. Let's see if we can make sense out of that in the fibs, right? If we take a low here, a low there to a high there, we are actually right within our golden ratio range, the 61869, so it's completely valid. It's a very possible scenario where we are at our low point here, or maybe we form some kind of double bottom, or if we went just a little bit lower to that 6.9 area at about 13.7 cents, that's fine too. That, after all, is at our prior weekly closing high right here. Right there, found some resistance here, resistance there, a little bit of support just above that, right? It's a perfect area to find support. So a little bit lower wouldn't kill you. If you were to go lower than that, though, the next target area would be the 786, and that I do have a hard time seeing, because that's about a 28% drop. That's a bit above average of a drop for what I would expect the rest of the market to do. And I don't know if LCX does that personally. I'm not necessarily expecting it to do that, but at the most, I could see, yes, you drop down to about 12 to 11 cents, somewhere in that area. You're at 16.4 cents now. That'd be anything but an opportunity to sell. It'd be a prime buying opportunity. But again, I'm having a hard time seeing you get below this area, because if we take everything off, we just take off the fibs here, so it's easy to see, prior areas of support here, resistance here, you tipped it for resistance there, resistance there, resistance there, resistance there, support-ish in this area here, resistance there. It's a very significant area in the history of LCX's kind of time frame. And then I wonder slash don't wonder, I wouldn't be surprised at all if we got a relative fib that was relatively significant here, from a high to a low here, the 0.5. Okay, 0.5 isn't actually that significant, and it's not even a fib in itself, but you can find support there. I oftentimes say if you find significance at the 0.5, you get significant results, right? You don't oftentimes find significance there, but if you do, you get significant moves. And to be completely fair, being that you did find support at your 382 would implicate that the 0.5 would be your next area to find support if you're being productive. So actually, it makes a lot of sense to find support around there. I don't think that LCX is going to go below 13.6 cents. I don't think that's going to happen. It might not even go below this low, let's be fair, but just stuff that we should be prepared for, okay? It can go down a little bit. I do believe that we're going to see new all-time highs in a matter of months, in a matter of weeks, potentially. Probably, though, I shouldn't say weeks. Probably, if we were to see new all-time highs, the earliest I could see to be the end of April. But I expect this upcoming move to the upside, I expect it to reach full maturity by the end of May or sometime in early June, mid-June, right? If we're looking at this here, the next target area to stop at would be at about $1.31. You're at 16 cents now, with the aspect, the possibility to go a little lower on the table here. If we're looking at the relative high, I'm going to take this high to this low, because I think out of this whole phase here, this high to low, we don't have the low yet. We don't know if it's the low. This high to low we do have, and it's not the high. It's not as high as this one was, but this is like a fake out high, so I feel like this is going to be more coherent. I don't know what word to use here. More applicable. It's going to be more reliable. Let's say that, yeah. The 1272, I don't know about you guys, but this thing's been consolidating here since April of 2024. So for about a year, you've been consolidating in this range. I don't think that you spend a year of consolidating just to hit your minimum target. I don't think that's what's going to happen. No, I think that you do go through that, and I would suspect that if you're reaching above 80 cents here, which oftentimes with the 1414, hold on, guys. If you do go to the 1 for oftentimes you go a little bit through it. But complete the thought, if you go a little bit through it, you're going to be above 80 cents. People are going to start eyeballing $1. I really think an appropriate minimum target might be prices that are either just below $1 or right at $1.05. That's your golden ratio. So to me, that makes sense. It's not common from a high to a low on any fib to stop below your 1272, but it happens. And sometimes it does happen, and that's okay if it happens. $1.05 could be where we go, and from here, from 16 cents, let alone if we go down just below 14 cents there, if that actually happens, going there, that's about a 6, almost like it's like a 6.5x. That's not bad at all. let alone if we go to the 1272, that's about a 7, almost an 8x, let alone if we go higher, and we could go higher. I wouldn't be surprised in the least if we went to prices that were around $2 or more, and that would result in an overall like 11x, 12x move scenario, and maybe even more than that, right? I think LCX has a lot of pent up aggression, and it's going to release that aggression on the bears once it breaks above these high areas here at about 40 cents, right? 40 cents is that kind of threshold to break. When you break through that, the floodgates open and you're in blue sky territory, man. You're going to have some, well, I guess technically not, it's 58 cents, but here, 40 cents, I really do think 40 cents is going to be a more significant area to break out because, again, this is where you have a high here, a high there, and you even have a closing high here on a weekly basis. I think it's a more significant area than the wicking high is here. The wicking high is significant. It's the all-time high. I'm just saying breaking above 40 cents to me would likely validate the notion that we are going to $1 or higher, $1 to $2, maybe even $3. Who knows how high this thing can go? There's a lot of things going on behind the scenes with this thing. But we're at about, and maybe not even behind the scenes, but like on the scene with this thing, 16.4 cents right now. Lower lows in the RSI, lower lows in the price. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you went a little bit lower. Let's look at the daily time frame again. Daily time frame isn't necessarily bearishly charged; it's kind of neutrally charged. The 4-hour RSI is bullishly charged. Let's see if it can do anything with that. The higher up we go in a short amount of time here, the higher up that we can go before Bitcoin makes its move down, the better the chances are that you don't go below 14 cents. In fact, so again, even if you do go below 14 cents, I'm not thinking you go too much below. Like I don't think you go below 13.6 cents. Could you go lower than that? Yes, you could. Is LCX broken? No, it's not. But I just don't see that happening, right? I personally think that something around this low, maybe a little bit lower, is on the table, but nothing dramatic, right? Finding support at the golden ratio, you came back and you actually closed right at it. I mean, this is your 1, 2, third attempt here, and you haven't gone below. That's actually a good look, guys. It's not a bad look at all. And it wouldn't surprise me in the least if we continue to grow from here. Looking at the 4-hour RSI, so while I am inevitably anticipating prices that go below this, I suppose over the coming days, we might be able to look forward to prices that are about 17 cents to 18.3 cents, somewhere in this area. We probably find resistance and then come down, find support in our 786, 886 area. If you move higher, that's great. If you don't go lower, that's great. You know, I can admit that I'm wrong if that happens, but I suppose the area that I would need to see us validate to break above in order to validate that this area here is a low. Let's see. From a high to a low, high here to a low there, that would be about, I mean, I would need to see a daily close above about 18.3 cents. If we can close above 18.3 cents on a daily basis, that wouldn't validate this as a low, but that would encourage it as a low. If we close above 21.5 cents, it would be a valid low at that point, okay? And even then, I think it'd probably be valid even before then because you'd have higher highs once you get above this high. You'd have higher lows there. You definitely are breaking out of this downtrend. You know, I think it'd be valid even before then, but from a technical perspective, let's just say 21.6 cents is the area on a daily closing basis you need to break above before you validate this as a low. But looking at these shorter term time frames, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit more encouraged that this could be the low area. It really could be, and I want to offer a perspective that I noticed the other day. Generally speaking, with flat bases like this, they don't hold. You go lower, but LCX here likes these flat bases. It really, like, you look at it and you can see it found its low here, and that was a flat base, man. You found a flat base. You found your high. That was a flat base. You went a little bit higher, but then you went down. Your low here, right? You just basically, you had one low here, but one low there. It wasn't, I guess it wasn't as flat in all fairness there. Flat base here. Flat base here before you went higher, right? Flat base there. Flat bases are not normally good for bullish means, but this thing apparently likes flat bottoms, man, and that's okay. Flat bottoms need loving too. I think it is possible, maybe even more so than I originally thought in the beginning of this video, that this could be the low. Just don't be surprised if it's not. And if it's not the low, we likely go just a little bit lower, right? But there's still a chance where we could find support just above it. Something like that can happen. It wouldn't throw me off at all, right? Flat bottom here, found a low right at it, double bottomed, right? Not really a flat bottom there, right? Flat bottom here. You came back, double bottom, but it was just above it instead, right? Flat bottom here, you interact with it several times. So it's oftentimes not just like a one and done thing, but we'll see how it goes. Wouldn't surprise me in the least if we return back to that like 14 cent area and then continue to grow. But from here, just based off the 4-hour time frame, it does seem as though we might move up a little bit higher. Don't get excited if we move above 18 cents. Get excited if we close above 18 cents on a daily closing basis. And we will validate the low once we close above, what was it? I think it was like 25 cents, 25 and a half cents on a daily basis as well. I got nothing else for you guys. I hope you liked the video. LCX is looking bullishly charged. If the question comes to mind, is it a good time to buy here? My answer is yeah, I think so. I think it's a good time to buy. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but yes, it is. I actually bought where I bought was at about 12 cents. So we are a little bit above where I bought, but I am considering buying more if we do get below 15 cents. That's going to be a good area to buy. I would buy here if I didn't have any LCX at all. Looking at this charts, I would personally buy here, but I have some. I'm in a position where I can afford to not buy some because even if I'm wrong and it doesn't go lower, I'll still be making money. Where if you're trying to hop on this train but you don't even have a ticket yet, you might want to punch your ticket. And there's nothing wrong with buying some here, buying some at the lows, buying some at the lower lows, you know. And then if it doesn't do any of this, if it comes down and then it moves up, you can just throw the hammer down at slightly higher prices. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I'm just offering some perspective there as to what I literally have done and what I would do in these kind of situations. So I got nothing else for you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. And LCX, you guys will be worth probably over $1 here in a very, very short amount of time. So that's all I got. Bye-bye.